King Charles let out a dear oh dear as he met under fire Prime Minister Liz Truss for their first ever weekly audience. The monarch, 73, was overheard making the apparent gaffe at Buckingham Palace yesterday. Last month, the pair spoke briefly during a special meeting following the death of Charles' mother, the Queen. But yesterday they convened again for their first weekly audience, a tradition the Queen maintained throughout her 70-year reign. The meeting got off to an eyebrow-raising start when Charles' apparent gaffe was caught on camera. Ms. Truss, who is facing an avalanche of criticism over her tax policies, greeted the King by saying, "Your Majesty." "It is good to see you again," Charles, smiling, said. "Back again?" Ms. Truss replied, "It's a great pleasure." But the King, seemingly looking to fill a brief awkward silence, then said, "Dear oh dear," before quickly following up with an "anyway." Now, the incident came after Ms. Truss faced Prime Minister's questions in Parliament, where she insisted she will not cut spending to balance the books as economists and the financial markets continued to question her plans. The monarch's audience with the Prime Minister is held every Wednesday after PMQs. The Queen conducted weekly meetings with all 15 Prime Ministers during her 70-year reign, including Sir Winston Churchill, her first, and Ms. Truss, who was her last. Charles, meanwhile, welcomed the King and Queen of Malaysia to Buckingham Palace yesterday. Yang di-Pertuan 16 and the Raja Permaisuri Agong were making their first visit to the UK for a year. It was the King's first engagement since his return to the UK from Scotland, where he spent 3 weeks with the Queen Consort following his mother's funeral. The King appeared in high spirits as he wore a pinstripe suit to greet the PM and the Commonwealth leaders. Shaking hands with His Majesty Yang di-Pertuan Agong 16 first, Charles then greeted Her Majesty the Raja Permaisuri Agong, before formally welcoming the couple to the UK. The engagement marked the first time King Charles had been pictured since the details of his coronation were announced earlier this week. Buckingham Palace has said that the coronation will take place on Saturday, May 6. The palace confirmed that the Queen Consort will be crowned alongside him by the Archbishop of Canterbury at Westminster Abbey. King Charles is said to want a more modest affair than is tradition, with the event being cut down to less than an hour, the guest list slashed by 3/4 and a less formal dress code. The coronation will reflect the monarch's role today and look towards the future, while being rooted in long-standing traditions and pageantry, the palace confirmed as it revealed the date. Insiders said that while the coronation will include the same core elements of the traditional ceremony, which has retained a similar structure for more than 1,000 years, it would recognize the spirit of our times. It is expected to be much smaller and simpler than the 3-hour spectacle of the late Queen's momentous coronation in 1953. Plans for the major event are known by the codename Operation Golden Orb, which sets out the blueprint for the service and the pageantry surrounding it. They are expected to see the guest list slashed from 8,000 to just 2,000, with a more relaxed dress code, with peers possibly allowed to wear lounge suits rather than ceremonial robes. Ancient and time-consuming rituals, including presenting the monarch with gold ingots, are also set to be axed to save time. However, the Prince of Wales is expected to play a prominent role in the occasion, the first time an heir will participate in the proceedings in 3 generations. Charles was just 4 when his mother was crowned, and the late Queen was 11 at the time of her father's coronation, and neither child played a formal role. In contrast, Prince William, aged 40 and a full-fledged working royal, is expected to be an eminent figure at the event next year.